Someone's here to see you. Well, send them right in. That's how this kind of conversation usually goes. Someone comes to the office to see someone. An assistant, maybe a receptionist or an executive assistant, walks into an executive's office to announce that someone has come into the office and wants to see them. If they have an appointment, they are usually shown right in. But if they're coming without an appointment, they may have to wait a while, but they usually are shown in eventually. In today's story from the Gospel of John, some people ask Jesus' assistants to introduce them to Jesus. They in turn deliver the message to Jesus. That's where the story turns a little strange. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Friday, March 8th, 2024. Today's reading from the Gospel of John is the Gospel reading for the fifth Sunday in Lent, in Year B of the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm reading through the Gospel lessons for Lent all this week, since in our church we are departing from the lectionary during Lent in order to follow the themes of our Lenten study. The story has elements that have echoes in the other Gospels, but the story itself seems to be unique to John. It takes place during the final time Jesus goes to Jerusalem for the Passover. It takes place immediately after Jesus rides into Jerusalem on what we call Palm Sunday. The other Gospels have Jesus cleansing the temple, or at least walking into the temple and looking around immediately after coming in on Palm Sunday. Only John tells this story. So here's how the story begins. Now, among those who went up to worship at the festival were some Greeks. They came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, and said to him, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Philip went and told Andrew. Then Andrew and Philip went and told Jesus. Okay, pretty straightforward stuff here. Some people approach Philip, one of Jesus' disciples. Acting as a loyal assistant, Philip then tells his brother Andrew, and the two of them go to Jesus to announce the visitors, to see if he's willing to see them. Now, you would expect Jesus to tell them to bring the visitors to see him. Instead, he answers in what seems like a non sequitur. We read, Jesus answered them, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Truly I tell you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just a single grain. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Those who love their life will lose it, and those who hate their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, there will my servant be also. For whoever serves me, the Father will honor." So what Jesus says here is very similar to what we've heard him say in the other Gospels. All three synoptic Gospels have Jesus saying substantially the same thing, only the settings are different. In Matthew, it is part of Jesus' instructions to his disciples when he sends them out to teach in the villages throughout the Galilee. Mark places it in Caesarea Philippi when Jesus speaks to gathered followers after asking the disciples who they say he is. Luke places it after Peter's confession, but on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. In other words, all four Gospel writers repeat Jesus' words in some form, but they all have different settings and audiences for it. So why in John's Gospel is it a response to a request to see Jesus? I think the answer is pretty straightforward. It is to underline the fact that to follow Jesus is serious business, not to be taken lightly. It's as if Jesus is saying to his disciples, okay, if the visitors want to see me, make sure they're not merely idle curiosity seekers. My time is short. I can't waste it on people who are not serious about following me. What John adds that the other Gospels don't include is the remark about a grain of wheat falling to earth. Paul uses the very same metaphor about the mortal body dying and being buried, enabling the resurrection body to spring up, just as a grain of wheat planted in the ground produces a new stalk. Jesus knows his time is short. No time to waste on the merely curious. If they want to follow, says Jesus, they need to know before they see me what they'd be in for. But know this, for those who follow me and serve me, the cost is high, but the rewards are even higher. And that is a timely message for us in Lent. Tomorrow, John's version of Palm Sunday. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.